everyone, this is Annie from Natural Elements Physio here in Leicester. I wanted to drop on really quickly and do a quick video because we had a couple of patients in this morning and they've both come through with the same question, which is, I warmed up really well, but I've still injured myself. So what was I doing wrong in the warm-up? I think it then comes back to why you're doing a warm-up, what you're doing in that warm-up, and also what sport you're doing afterwards as well. So if we think back as to why you might do a warm-up, you tend to do a warm-up, and the best reason for doing it is to prepare yourself for whatever activity you're going to do. So if you're doing running, you are going to prepare both physically and mentally for what you're going to do when you run. It's a great way to begin to get a bit of load through the tissues, a bit of tension. You could begin to get the heart and the lungs going as well, and begins to get the circulation going. But what it won't necessarily do in that particular scenario is to prevent injury. There's very little credible evidence that says a warm-up, however good it is, will prevent your injury. The only piece of evidence really looks back at a set of footballers actually that was practiced on, not runners, and they did a warm-up, but it was about 20 minutes, but it was a very intensive and involved lots of different kinds of exercises. So coming back to our runners, if you're going out for a light run in the evening when you've been sitting at your desk all day, it might be that actually you don't necessarily need to do a very intense form of warm-up. What you tend to find is that a lot of running injuries tend to be overuse injuries. It comes down to the fact that the tissues are just struggling to tolerate the load that's put through them, and that's often done over a long period of time. That's slightly different to thinking about runners such as hurdlers, sprinters, trail runners, maybe somebody going for a race. That's slightly different, and for those sorts of things you would need a more intense warm-up. I would always go through and do a more intense warm-up if you're going to be doing something like that. Or maybe you're going out for a run and you want to get a really good PB. You're going to be really going for it. You need to do a more intense warm-up. So what do we mean by warm-up, and what would we include? So generally, if you think about things like your active range of movement, so literally just getting the range of movement within your joints, you could be doing some active sort of swinging exercises and some active range of movement. Gentle stretches, tend to do dynamic stretches rather than just very static stretches. And then also I would include something what's known as plyometrics. Now there is some evidence that plyometrics actually helps in terms of making it easier for runners to get more economy in their running. You get more bang for your buck basically. It helps your tissues, and particularly things like tendons, plantar fascia, those sorts of things, to actually absorb energy that little bit, retain that energy that you can then expend when you're running as well. So include active range of movement, some dynamic stretches, some plyometrics, and by plyometrics I mean things like bouncing movements, so hopping, skipping, little jumps, bunny hops, little gentle plyometric bouncing ballistic squats, rather than just your pure powerlifting kind of squats. That's top tips for today. Hope to see you soon. Take care. You might not need the warm-up today, it's really hot outside. That's Annie from Natural Elements. Bye bye.